more. Remember, you said no headroom above our heads.
Perfect.
Hey guys, it's Corey and Dave here. I know we're used to doing Zap Talk with the new releases and whatnot. We wanted to try something different.
We're also in chairs.
We're sitting down because we're getting old, back in these.
It's also to show that you and I, we're not very different. I bet you're sitting down right now. Well, if you're not, please take a seat.
Take a seat because when you read, you generally do sit down unless you're just weird.
Or you're just unable to, and that's kind of messed up, Corey. What about the handicapped people that can only stand forever? Does that exist?
Anyways, we get asked literally 10 times a day, every day that we're here, what do we read, what are our favorite stories, and if you could recommend something that would start somebody off into reading. And basically, what's our favorite stories? So, and we say them every day to people here, so we wanted to tell everybody there just in case, you never asked us.
Yeah, you never asked us.
That's
Talking
right.
to you.
What's if you could recommend a story?
If I could recommend a story,
Yeah,
I could recommend a few.
I could too. You're a bigger reader than I am. I'm more into the art, but I do have some favorite stories.
So one story. So I'm usually a big Marvel guy. So I have a lot of different Marvel stories. Actually, everything I have here is pretty Marvel. Not to say that there aren't some DC stories, but I feel like we've gone over them a bunch. If you go back to our videos.
DC, the stories are more compact. DC sells better as trades because they have more significant, iconic stories. Or Marvel, you kind of have to read the whole run. Which is why Marvel's really big with collectors like myself. Yeah. I always was a big Marvel guy, so I collected everything because it was pretty much continuous. Where DC, it was very, you could just read it and be done with it. Not that it's bad, it's just easier to sell a DC trade than it is a Marvel trade.
So I know if you look up on the wall, you can pick any. There's so many Batman trades that people know to pick up, but no one's going to know which tie-in to a crossover that no one really liked to buy. Which is why I have to talk about Secret Warriors. Which now it is actually by Bendis and Hickman.
Yes, this is early Hickman.
This is early Hickman before he really blew up and now is writing every single book. It's all about the Secret Invasion, which people didn't really care too much about, but it was where Nick Fury disappeared for a while in the universe and couldn't trust anybody, so he made a team of this guy's cousin, pretty much. So it's a Phobos, son of Ares. A couple different characters, Daisy, who made it into the Secret Avengers for a little while. It's all these people with powers that were not really on the grid or not important enough to be in a book, but he assembled them and turned them into his own little secret army to kind of take care of everything in the background, and it was awesome.
I remember when it came out, it wasn't a hot seller, but it sold very consistently, and everybody who read it loved it. It was one of those, it was awesome. Like a favorite book by everybody, even though it wasn't a chart topper. So. And I know it still sells as a back issue. The trades sell well. And people liked it. I mean, and they were actually sad that it changed. When I forget what it was happening, they changed all the books again.
And Nick Fury is incredible in it. Just the dialogue between, and then Dum Dum Dugan's in it. It's just, if you love S.H.I.E.L.D., it's a great book.
Very cool. My pick, which is, I was big into it back in the day from some of my customers when I first started working here 5-6 years ago. I never heard of it. I was pretty much all Marvel DC. Invincible. If you like early Spider-Man, like the Ditko, Stan Lee stuff, I would definitely check out Invincible. It's kind of like a young, retake of Spider-Man now. The stuff that happens to him. I know I keep repeating it, but it's Spider-Man. It's a more modern age Spider-Man stuff he goes through. It's a big connection with his father. His father's a superhero. He doesn't know, he's a kid. He doesn't know what he needs to do. So he looks up to his father. Things change with his father. There's aliens. But he's in school. He's going to college. He's trying to deal with girls. But it's very, very much like if you were back in the early 60s being exposed to Spider-Man for the first time. So, Robert Kirkman, obviously he writes Walking Dead, which everybody loves. But definitely check out Invincible. I recommend everybody. It's for a time back in the day, it sold right on par with Walking Dead, but because of the show and stuff like that, Walking Dead exploded. But Invincible's still a very strong seller. There's 17 or 18 volumes in trade. I would definitely recommend it. It's really cool. It's got some cool secondary characters. I would definitely check it out. Invincible, Robert Kirkman. Ryan Otley, great artist too.
If you're a big fan of Kick-Ass, I hear that's important now. People
Kick-Ass
like
is
that.
fun. Kick-Ass is
Isn't
fun.
that hitting your local silver screen? The Kick-Ass 2. So when it comes to Millar, a lot of the stuff that I like from him is something where he has specific guidelines that he needs to go into and take a character or a story and really build around it. And that's why Wolverine, Old Man Logan, is awesome. It's one of those fun, other dimension kind of alternate timeline books where it's all about Wolverine has this family. The world's been broken up. All the heroes, everything has they've either been broken, beaten, or they're dead. So all of America, it comes with a little neat map of who owns what. And he lives in the Badlands, kind of where California, Midwest, where the Hulk family lives. It's like they're inbred redneck Hulks.
Yeah, the inbred Hulks are great.
So they owe him money, or he owes them money. So to get the money, he needs to go on this trek, basically, to go and retrieve something from Washington, D.C. that's of great importance. And it's actually like a road trip buddy kind of adventure with old Wolverine and old blind Hawkeye with the Spider-Mobile across the U.S.
It's fun, too, not to cut you off.
Awesome.
Same creative team that did Civil War, which is Millar and Steve McNiven. McNiven's art is awesome. I love his art. He doesn't do a lot of things, but when he does it right. It's great. So if you like Civil War, I would definitely check it out.
Civil War is one we always talk about, too. Yeah. You have to read Civil War.
It's awesome. Wolverine, there's a couple great scenes in there. The Hulk part's awesome. There's another
he won't
part
pop
too.
his claws anymore, Wolverine. That's one of the things. It's awesome.
Speaking of awesome, it's one of my favorite stories, even though I do not like the character at all, which is very weird.
That is weird.
But
you don't like anybody.
Planet Hulk. As most people know, I'm not a Hulk fan. When I was a kid, I thought he was kind of neat, but he doesn't do anything for me. I just think he's whatever. One of my best friends, Ryan Ratchet Reset, has a Hulk website, has a Hulk room in his house. He loves the Hulk. I don't, but
you don't even have a closet for the Hulk?
He has a closet for the Hulk.
No, I mean to you.
Oh, do I?
If he has a full room.
No, I don't have anything for the Hulk.
Anything?
No. Anyways, Planet Hulk by Greg Pak. It is how I think Hulk should be. It's cool. Pretty much Hulk has been he's kind of a menace. He's uncontrollable. They don't know what to do with him. So the Illuminati, they send him out in orbit to land on this really peaceful planet just full of animals, kind of like a Fortress of Solitude type place where he's just kind of relax and live his days. And when he wakes up in the spacecraft, he goes crazy and rips it apart, and it goes off course and lands on like a gladiator planet. And it's, he becomes like a slave, and it's pretty much like, he is like a gladiator. They put him in the ring, he's got to fight everybody, but he becomes friends with people. They have to overtake the planet. It goes into a story, World War Hulk, which I did not like at all. But Planet Hulk is awesome. The art's amazing. The story's written perfectly. Definitely check it out. It's always available in trade. The back issues, we have in the bins, but it reads better as a trade. But I would definitely check it out. Greg Pak really nailed it with this. So again, this is coming from someone who does not like the Hulk at all, and this is one of my all-time favorite comic book stories. I would definitely check it out.
I'd say this is my all-time favorite comic book story ever. So this is another Millar. I'm going with there too. This is 1985. And this is one of the first books that I picked up, just kind of I think it's a 4 or 5 issue.
I think it was 5 or 6.
5 issues, 5 or 6 maybe. I just looked at the art, and I got to meet the artist at New York Comic Con a while back. And I didn't know it was him, but I saw him, and he was just putting color on the paper, just like splashing, and then he just inked over it, and I was like, that's Dr. Doom coming out of the woods. Like, the art is beautiful, but it's all about our world and this little kid who's moving away with his mother and stepfather, and his father is a deadbeat. The only thing that he really connects with his son on is comic books, because he had this old friend. They were all into comic books. They go to the comic book store together. They know everything, and it's all about what if basically Dr. Doom and all the villains, they found a way from the Marvel universe to our universe. So it all starts when the Vulture, or some guy dressed up as the Vulture, shows up in the city, and they're like, look at this idiot. And they think it's a joke, or someone who's lost their mind, an old man who like comic books, but as like Stilt Man comes in, and it's this whole big thing where the Marvel villains are just wrecking the city, and his dad finally becomes one of the most important people in their family because he knows what to do and he knows how to get them safe. So it's like this national disaster of the Marvel universe merging in, and him trying to keep his ex-wife and his son safe. And it's really good. Highly. And the art, I'd say, I don't know what else Tommy Lee Edwards has done, but one of the best books.
Nice. My last book is Batman: Death in the Family, not Death of the Family, which just happened. This was a big deal back in the day. People actually voted. Jason Todd was around as Robin. Nobody liked him. I don't know if it was the way he was written or what. He was whining. Everybody hated Jason Todd, so they were going to do a Death of the Family story, and they didn't know what to do with him. They're like, we want to kill him. We're not sure. So they did like a vote. Back then, you had to call like a 1-900 number. It was 50 cents. Yes or no to kill him, and it was decided by 72 votes to kill him. And obviously, they kill him. It's got the Joker involved. Jason Todd's mother's involved.
And he stayed dead forever.
Yeah. He was dead for a while.
He lasted.
The best part is the Mike Mignola covers, especially the cover where he actually dies. The fun thing about this book is that when it came out, it was a big outcry where, oh my God, they killed Robin. Now, most people who are complaining about it aren't comic book readers. They're just the general public. Like, how dare you kill Robin? I grew up with him. It's Dick Grayson, whatever. Dick Grayson had been Nightwing already. So most people who were complaining about it, that they killed Robin, had no idea who Robin was. Because the general public doesn't sit down and read monthly comics. They just know the characters by what they're exposed to, whether it's on TV or whatnot. So it was a big deal back in the day. It still is now. I mean, obviously, Red Hood and stuff like that. But it's the story's a little dated, so be careful reading it. I mean, it's a quick story. It's like 4 issues. But it's fun. But like I said, the iconic covers by Mike Mignola, who obviously does Hellboy and Abe Sapien and whatnot, really get me to it. The cover with Robin dying is one of my all-time favorite covers ever. So check it out. Written by Jim Starlin, who was one of my, he created Thanos, and he's did a big job with Silver Surfer, and he did all the, Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that. So it's a little different because Starlin did write Batman for a while. So I would definitely check it out. Again, it's Death in the Family, not a Death of the Family.
The new one, which was still fun.
Yeah, which was fun.
This was basically the equivalent of when they killed Ultimate Spider-Man. And people were like, how could you kill Spider-Man? They're like, calm down, it's the Ultimate one. And then Marvel was just like, we're going to kill the regular Spider-Man like a year.
So definitely check it out. And do you have any more?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I have some on my lap. Spider-Man Reign. I love. It's a story. Spider-Man's an old dude, and you're not sure if Mary Jane's alive or dead. The world's taken over, basically, by this government regime that wants to block New York City into this dome. Sandman's this cop. He's trying to say the streets are terrible since Spider-Man left, and that's fun. And then I Kill Giants is something that's recommended to everybody. Joe Kelly. Everybody who reads this, they're like, oh man, I cried.
Yeah, and Tom Juba, who used to work here.
That's one of Tom's picks.
Tom would tell it to everybody, and everybody who bought it loved it. I Kill Giants is, I've never seen it get like below like a 9 out of 10 on any review ever for it. So it's not a superhero book, but it's more like a real life touching book, and people love it. Like I said, every year it's like one of those things where people are like, how did you not read this book? And it sells well, but I think it should sell better. It's a unique book, so it's not like a major publisher. I mean, even though it is Image, but it's not like it's in your face every year, like Watchmen or something.
Okay.
All right. Again, if you ever have any more questions, me and David here at Zap Comics all the time. We recommend these and many other stories. If you have any stories you want to recommend, please feel free to write a comment on your favorite stories so we can spread the word, because word of mouth sells the stuff better than anything else. And as long as the right people read the right books, that's all I care about.
Yeah. Their back to school list. These are the real important books you should be spending money on. Not
Catcher in the Rye or whatever those other books they make them read.
Pride and Prejudice?
Novels.
No thanks.
Novels. It's got to have pictures, man.
Picture novels.
That's right. Graphic novels. We should keep that. Graphic novels.
Graphic novels.
From now on, we're going to call these graphic novels.
Don't tell them. They're going to steal our idea.
Bye, guys.
I have an idea. The first one will be called A Contract with God. And then Marvel was just like, we're going to kill the regular Spider-Man like Spider-Man.